And we are getting into game number 1. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Babylon, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning at the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming. It is Solar. See in the chat. Tough. Who do I put the house on? Put the house in it, Bobby. Put the house in it. Who would you place your bets on? Who would I bet on? That's a good question. It's a tough one. ByuN is, of course, the one-man army. He is ByuNjwa. He is ByuNstoppable. There's a lot that you can say about ByuN. Solar has been impressing recently. The mere fact that Solar took down Cure, that's a big tell. That's a big tell that Solar is in form. He is looking powerful. Is he powerful enough to take down ByuN though? I think I give the edge to ByuN. I think I give ByuN the edge, but I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to the ace match. And I wouldn't be surprised if Solar takes it either. Like, I think it's really close. I think it's really close right now. But we'll see. Until then, we do have the 2 racks opening here from ByuN. The ByuN opener, if you will. 2 racks on the low ground. This is going to lead to additional Reapers. It's going to lead into 3 Reapers, and if Solar takes a fast third base, then ByuN will double down and he'll make additional Reapers to deny and delay the third and keep the pressure on. Again, this has become the standard for ByuN. Cure has been weaning himself off of this. Cure has been weaning himself off of this, but ByuN has stood strong against the test of time. And so we are going to be setting up here our second base. Again, Solar just going for a hatch gas pool, nothing too crazy. Going to be sending out his drone to take his third. Meanwhile, the Reapers make their way across the map. And we are already transitioning back at home with that reactor. Interesting. Okay, ByuN. Very interesting. So he sends his first Reaper across the map. He's going to be harassing. Sure, he shouldn't really get too much done. He's going to be threatening the drones, but not much else. ByuN gets into a second Reaper, but he stops at 2 because of how quickly he went into these add-ons. Interesting. Regardless, he's not going to he's under-committing to these Reapers, and he's still containing Solar to 2 bases. So really good mind games. ByuN, he's achieving what he otherwise would have with 3 Reapers with only 2, and he's getting away with cutting corners. Meanwhile, Solar, he delayed his third base, expecting a bigger commitment into these Reapers. He made a big wave of links, he prioritized link speed, and ByuN is backing off. So I love this. ByuN is playing with his reputation, he's forcing an overreaction, and he's able to be a little bit greedier as a result. He's working towards his factory, he's already got his tech lab, his reactor, working towards stim. There's that starport, so we have the 2-1-1 setup. We now know it's not going to be a 4 racks or anything like that. And yeah, I kind of like ByuN's position here. Again, we overmade lings, these could have been drones, could have had a faster third. Solar, he's playing catch-up in a way. So really cool stuff here out of ByuN. And again, this is why I love ByuN's like play here in TvZ, just because he doesn't do the same thing every game. He has so many variations, and he's always like looking for a way at just like adjusting his builds and like refining them and getting away with whatever he can, or trying to catch his opponent off guard. Even this, for example, it's a fast 2-1-1, or like a faster transition into a 2-1-1. But once again, we don't have an add-on swap, or we don't have a reactor add-on swap. We're going into Banshees. There's pros and cons to this, obviously. This does mean that we have delayed medevacs, but we have faster Banshees, and these Banshees are going to be a little bit unexpected. I really worry here as time goes on whether or not Solar is going to throw down safety spores. If he doesn't, then he may be in some trouble. Now, we have a spore in the main. This is in position for a Liberator, so a safety spore in the main base. No spore anywhere else, though. Meanwhile, the first Banshee has arrived. Cloak halfway done. ByuN is going to be moving out. Now, he has to be careful here. Again, there are no medevacs, and he has to be very careful with when and where he uses his stim. We'll back off. Again, he was just posturing, hoping to force an overreaction, force out some lings. So he does catch an Overlord, supply blocking Solar for a moment. At the same time, Banshee is getting ready to go in, but we do have detection in the main. There's no Spore at the third, there's no Spore in the natural. The main is the only place where we have detection, and that Oracle? The Banshee is heading into the natural. Oof, and damage is being done. 2 drones go down, a lot of lost mining time. Again, this Banshee was very unexpected. When you set up for a 2-1-1, you're prioritizing medevacs, not Banshees, and as a result, Solar was woefully underprepared. 6 drones go down. And we're gonna get a 7th. We could even get an 8th. Oof. And even more lost mining time, as this Banshee has already paid for itself and is going to get an 8th drone in the main. Back at home, ByuN is getting ready for his 1-2 punch. The first 2 medevacs have arrived, and now ByuN can be active with his main army. What's he going to be pushing into? There are lings to defend, thankfully. How many queens do we have? 9 queens, that's enough. Solar, he has the tools to defend, but will he be in position? Will he be able to keep up? Ooh, as it isn't just a bio push, we have a tank with this as well. Oh my. The tank is going to complicate things. Tumors aren't going down. We have a lot of queens. But again, that tank is going to pack a massive punch here with this push. Big volley already on the queens. Things are getting ready to engage. Bailings are on the way. ByuN, though, is going to reposition, pulling back his tank for a moment. Bailings are about to finish up, but a good target firing, and one of those queens goes down. Only 1 queen for the time being. Once we get a good target firing, we get a 2nd queen and a Bailing. Down goes the 3rd queen. From there, hot pickup. The creep has receded. It's going to be that much more difficult to push into this tank. Back at home, ByuN, he is throwing down 2 more Raxes. Not a 3rd CC. Uh-oh. This is looking like a 2-base all-in. ByuN sending more reinforcements across the map. A very delayed 3rd, a non-existent 3rd base. Meanwhile, the Lings, they go for a counterattack, but they may even find a tank. Oh! The tank's looking very exposed. ByuN, he has to race back home. And can he save the tanks? He saves 1, but that was a big pick-off. Especially against a 2-base all-in. To pick off 1 tank, that is huge. At the same time, another tank goes down. ByuN only down to 1. Ay, ay, ay. There we go. A 2nd tank comes out. But suddenly, ByuN, his army isn't looking as intimidating as it once did. Solar, he's defending. He's getting a 4th base. He's saturating his 3rd. He's working towards 2-2. A lot of the pressure has been alleviated. And ByuN still does not have a 3rd CC. He's still very all-in. He's going for a double jump into the main. Solar out of position. He shouldn't be losing too much, though. He's able to keep up. At the same time, the queens do maneuver towards the south. And ByuN is hoping to catch Solar droning. But Solar, he's cutting workers at 60. He's not even going for 3-base saturation. Solar staying on a low drone count, correctly identifying that his opponent is all in, and that he is being hyper-aggressive. But is it going to be enough? Because ByuN is rocking up with a massive army. 3 tanks, fully topped up, fully healed. They are already in position. They are sieged. Solar is going to take this slow. He's going for a big counterattack. Bailings, oh, they roll into the tank. Bit of a misstep from Solar, bleeding out units. We can't afford to. Here we go. Solar comes in from behind. He's getting a full surround. He's getting us over the tanks. The tanks will fall. The Bailings, they will crash in. There is no escape, and Solar cleans this up. I thought it was going for a counterattack, but no, we had the surround instead. And again, ByuN, he's all in. Like, there's no way out of this. The longer this goes on, the easier it becomes for Solar. We do have some Liberators harassing here towards the south. The Queens have to rotate on over. At the same time, ByuN pushing through the center with one tank. Tank is going to get some hits in. He's going to get some shots off. As the Liberators, they head in towards the natural. Solar having a hard time keeping up with his Queens. Liberators, they go ham in that natural base. But the Ling Bane army is still amassing. One Liberator goes down, but one still survives. As ByuN is just solidifying his position here. Getting a second tank. As it looks like the Liberator will finally go down. And once it goes down, Solar, he can focus on the main push. There we go, he's rotating his Queens back over. He will have them for some anti-air to deal with these Liberators. Solar going for a massive surround. Catching some reinforcements. Getting ready to come in from behind. Solar, he is taking some hits, but here we go. He's looking to come in once again. Collapsing on this position from behind. From the front as well, there is no escape, and ByuN will lose everything once again. The Liberators survive, but that is the only thing that survives. Oh my god, that's a lot of lips. Hydrogen is on the way. The Libs, they're holding on to this position, to be fair. But Lings, they go for a big counterattack. They catch the tanks. And the Banelings are rolling in as well, looking to collide with these SCVs. And 21 SCVs go. Oh my god. 21 SCVs go down. We break into the middle line. Liberators are going ham. Bit of a desperation move here from ByuN as ByuN picked up his main base. He's landing it as his third, but he's down to 11 SCVs. At the same time, we have a drop here towards the south. Bit of chaos is ensuing, but again, ByuN doesn't have an economy. He may kill a base, but he needs to do more than just kill a base. As the Liberators are being cleaned up, ByuN, he lost 40 SCVs. He's down to 8 workers here at the natural. The Liberators are putting in a lot of work, to be fair. But there's only so much these Libs can do. Especially because now we finally have some anti-air. We have Queens, we have Hydras. GG gets called, and Solar will take game number 1. Oh. GG. Solar correctly identifying the 2 base all in and having some really good positioning. Not just that, but Solar also not over droning. I think there were a couple of moments where ByuN backed off and he gave Solar some room to breathe, and I'm sure he was hoping that Solar would take that opportunity to tech up into an infestation pit, into hive tech, into hydras as well. He was hoping that maybe Solar would be too greedy before coming in again, still all in. But it wasn't just that. It wasn't just Solar making sure he didn't overdrone, but also some really good engagements, right? Early on, he caught a tank. Early on, he caught 2 tanks, actually. And that really did slow down the all-in from ByuN. It gave Solar a lot more breathing room to just spread his creep and just build it, or get into his production, into his army, build up his Ling Bane. And with that, Solar takes a lead in this series. But that was only game 1. That was merely game 1, and we have at least another game ahead of us. And of course, ByuN, he can bring it back into the ace match here in game 2. I want to believe. We've been getting a lot of ace matches today. We've been getting a lot of game 3s. Hopefully, we can do it again. Hopefully. Let's go. Let us go. As game 2 will be taking place on Dragon Scales. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming. It is Solar. My beard says Solar, my spear says ByuN. You're an animal. Oh my god. How come Solar loses 9 workers but still up 20? Because ByuN was all in. He was all in. He was all in. Cut workers very early on. ByuN not intending to really focus on his economy that game. But last here we are, we're getting into game number 2, and yeah, we'll see what kind of direction ByuN goes in this time. So we are on Dragon Scales, another small map, you know, kind of like the previous map Babylon. The Russian distance by ground is really short, so this can lead to not just 2 base all-ins, but we can even see 3 base all-ins. You know, 8 Raxes can be quite popular on maps like this, and they can be quite difficult to stop and slow down as well. So we'll see if ByuN does head in that direction. For the time being, once again, a 2 Rax opener from ByuN, and I just got really excited last game just because we saw a new variation that I hadn't seen before. You know, a 2 Rax opener, 2 Reapers straight into add-ons, straight into the transition as well. It was really cool to see ByuN whip that out, and yeah, we'll see if he is able to do something like that again. Like the setup, the early game from ByuN last game was actually really good. It was really solid to see him contain Solar and delay his third, and to see him get a lot of economic damage done with the Banshee. If ByuN was going into a standard game, I think he would have been in a really good position. It's unfortunate that he was going into an all-in. So I'm hoping that we get to see something different here from ByuN. I'm hoping that we could see more of a macro-oriented game, that we do see 3-base saturation. Like, I do think that's when ByuN is at his strongest. I know that ByuN is an aggressive player, but that doesn't mean that he has to go all in. You know, he can be so successful and aggressive in the mid game, right? When he's on 3-4 bases, when he's dropping at the 3rd and dropping at the 4th and pulling apart the Zerg player. I think that's what we love most about ByuN, and hopefully we get to see that. Oh, as ByuN, he's going for the exact opposite of game 1. He's going 2 Reapers into a 3rd and 4th Reaper. And a good read here because his opponent is going into a 3rd CC. Sorry, into a 3rd hatchery. So with the additional Reapers that are on the way, ByuN is looking to deny the 3rd. He's looking to shut down this 3rd base. Before that happens, he heads into the natural as well. Does force a cancel on that Spore Crawler. Oh, does force another cancel. Quick moves here from Solar, not losing the drone, canceling it twice. As we scout the 3rd too late. ByuN, he sees the 3rd base, but it's almost done. Link speed just kicked in, and Solar, he's gonna shut down these Reapers. This is worst case scenario for ByuN. So typically, if you're investing this much into these Reapers, typically you only make 3. If you go up to 5, you're delaying your add-ons by so much, you're delaying your transition by so much, and if you're doing that, you need to cancel this 3rd base. You need to delay this 3rd for as long as you can. But he didn't. Solar, he got away with the 3rd base on time, on location. A greedy opener here from Solar, considering what he was up against, and he got away with it. He got away with the 3rd. He's able to drone up. This time in the early game, I would give the edge to Solar. These Reapers, they have not paid for themselves. They have not done enough. Not this time. Oh, did I speak too soon? Oh. No. Yeah, not quite getting any drones here. Back at home, ByuN, of course, getting into his 2-1-1 setup. He's working on a 3rd CC, so this time he's not 2-base all-in. He is, you know, going for a longer game. But again, just because of how little these Reapers have been able to accomplish, I do still want to give the edge to Solar. As Reapers, they're able to trade against the Lings, shave off some of them. Stim is on the horizon. This time we won't be slowing down the drop play. If you remember, in game 1, we went Banshee first, and then we went into the medevacs. But this time, we're going straight into medevac production. A lot more standard. With this, ByuN is going to be a lot more active sooner with these Marines. With Stim. As Solar is just fully saturating his 3rd base, getting into double Evo chambers, which is the correct call, especially when you're up against 3CC. It is very important that you're able to keep up with the upgrades of the Terran player. For this, Solar, he's going to be delaying his lair and he's going to be delaying his bailing speed, but in favor of 1-1 in this situation when he's up against 3CC. It's the correct call for our Zerg player. Again, you don't need bailings to defend against this. As Marines push on 4, they will get an Overlord. Overlord does go down. ByuN shouldn't get more from here. He should maybe get an Overlord, maybe deny some of the creep, but he shouldn't be able to break into any of these bases. As Solar is just working towards his lair and his Bailing Nest. He's just rounding himself out on Lingbane. ByuN going to be rotating over here towards the right-hand side again, cleaning up some of this creep and establishing his third. We're getting to the mid-game. Oh, let's go. On top of that, Solar, he confirms the third base with this Ling. He's trying to get an SCV, and it looks like... Oh, he will barely get one SCV. At the same time, the Lings, they do engage with the Marines. Reinforcements are on the way. ByuN are now going to be focusing on his first push, not just with Marines, but also with some Widow Mines. We'll see if Solar can keep up. Lair just now about to finish up. Bailing speed is soon about to start. Here are the mines. They have burrowed. A couple of bailings are on the way as well. Looks like we're trying to trigger those mines, but a quick unburrow. Quick unburrow from ByuN. They will not go off. Not yet. Oh, as the Lings engage, but no bailings. The Lings go down. That was not a good trade for Solar at all. And Solar's gonna lose everything. GG gets called. One bad fight is all it takes, and ByuN takes game number 1. Oh, sorry, game number 2. Tying up the series 1-1. GG. Oh, that was hashtag relatable from Solar. Yeah, you do not want to engage like that with your Lings with a massive Marine army. Marines, they even with a full surround, Marines trade better. Marines, they annihilate Lings. Without Queens to support, without Bailings to support, that was just a miscalculated engagement from Solar. He did not have to push in like that. He did not have to attack then and there. He still had 1-1 on the way, and he had Queens coming in behind that as well. Like he didn't have to force the fight, but just like that, one bad fight is sometimes all it takes, and ByuN ties up the series. GG. We have an ace match. Do have an ace match. Oh, I hope Solar isn't too disturbed by that as well, because that was like I feel like we were robbed of a mid game. Like it was like everything was going fine, everyone was getting their bases up and running, and like just a fight goes awry, the game ends. It's like hopefully Solar's able to shake it off and we're able to get into game number 3 here without too much issue. The ace match, it all ends here. Either ByuN takes it or Solar takes it in the end. We are on Gressvan. This could lead into a late game scenario, but considering it's ByuN we're talking about, he usually avoids the late game if possible. He's not like Cure, he's not like Maru, these players that embrace the late game a little bit more. We'll see though, we'll see. If forced into it, ByuN, he will cut the map in half. We may enter a 30-minute game. It's possible. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gressvan. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming. It is Solar. It's really interesting because in game 1, ByuN had the better early game and it led into a loss. In game 2, Solar had the better early game and that led into a loss. So it's interesting how that's been turning out. And we'll see who has the better early game here in game 3. As ByuN once again is going for the 2-axe opener. Now this could go into a couple of different directions. This could lead into you know, just a 3 Reaper into 3cc. It could lead into a 4-axe, could lead into a 3-axe even. ByuN's got so many different variations of this opener. It's fascinating. We'll see what he goes for. For now, first Overlord is going across the map to get a read on what exactly is happening. The second Overlord is staying back at home just in case ByuN were to proxy. Again, he has proxy racks before on this map, in this location. He actually beat Solo with proxy 3 racks yesterday. It did happen. It was brutal. This time, though, the Raxes are back at home. And Solar is going to get eyes on that. As the Overlord is just dipping on forward. Confirming the Raxes before heading towards one of those pillars. You know, we'd have our first Reaper on the way. We have a second and third Reaper as well. 3 Reapers is the norm. And there's that CC on the way in. Solo's just going to be confirming that, just making sure he's not being all in. It's crossing off the possibilities here of what ByuN is up to. Well, the first Reaper going to be dancing with the Lings of Solar. So far, Solar not going to be losing anything yet, as he's forced to make additional Lings. Second Reaper does arrive. Doesn't quite get a turn yet. Good control out of Solar. Morphing in that Spore, pulling back in time. But the Reapers, they make their way into the main base. Quick Evo Chamber. Oh, good. From Solar. Walling up. Buying time for his Lings. And Solar doesn't lose anything. Interesting. Back at home, just like the last game, ByuN, he's making a 4th Reaper and a 5th Reaper as well. He's going up to 5 Reapers. We'll see if he can get anything done here. Remember, I did criticize ByuN of going up to 5 Reapers in the last game and not denying the 3rd. Looks like it's going to happen again. As we are trading quite heavily with these things. A lot of Lings are going down. Reapers, they try to get into the mineral line, but again, good control out of Solo. He does pull back in time. As ByuN gets eyes on that 3rd base. Ling speed does kick in. I don't think Solar has enough to deal with this, though. Yeah, he will have to back up. He will have to respect ByuN. Meanwhile, back at home, ByuN is going for a 3rd CC into his factory. So it's a 2-on-1 setup, or 3CC 2-on-1 setup from ByuN. Very economic. Again, just like the last game. Just like game 2. This is as macro as ByuN can get here when it comes to this 2-racks opener. Outside of the additional Reapers, of course. But I guess the added benefit of going up to 5 Reapers is that you are keeping Solar back at home a lot longer. You're maintaining map control. The Lings, they try to get us around, but alas, the Reapers, they do escape. They slip away. Solar, he just can't really keep up here. He's going to try to chase down these Reapers, but you can see how well the Reapers are trading. Finally, 1 Reaper, 2 Reapers go down, but good. That was not worth it. 21 Lings for 2 Reapers. Not the best trades here from Solar. Back at home, ByuN is working on his transition. Again, the medevacs are on the way for the eventual 2-on-1 16 Marine push. Or 16 Marine drop. And Solar is attempting to saturate his 3rd base. He should be working on a 4th momentarily. We should be seeing double Evo Chamber. Yep, there we go. Double Evo Chamber's on the way. This feels a little bit delayed, but regardless, Solar should be working towards his lair momentarily. 1-1, Bailey Nest. It's the same setup as Game 2, but again, remember, Game 2 ended prematurely. Game 2 had a sudden end where Solar took 1 bad fight and it all ended. It wasn't to the first double drop. Remember, it was the follow-up. It was around the 7-minute mark with those mines. See if ByuN can get there. We can pull off the same miracle. Once again, the Lings, they engage. The Queens are going down. This is getting out of control already. 1, 2 Queens, 4, 3 Queens as well. This is just becoming too much. Solar getting caught out without enough Lings. And ByuN, he got 3 Queens and 40 Lings in total already. really efficient trades here from ByuN. And this is becoming a little bit worrisome because we have yet to see his final form. We have reinforcements on the way. There are those 2 Widow Mines as well. Yeah, this full-up push is what ended the last game. This time, Solar, he should be in a better position. I say that he's going to have less queens. He's going to have less queens. More lings, at least. But another queen goes down. Oh, no. Mine Shot goes off, takes down a big chunk of those lings. As ByuN is amassing his army, he's working on a 4th CC behind this. We have a timing here with 1-1. Solo, though, he's holding on. Again, he hasn't had the best trades, but he's got decent enough economy. He's got a good base count. He's getting into a really fast hydrogen, actually. Bold move. Honestly, I think that as we do have a mine jump coming into the main base, the armory is done, by the way. Detection is required. Marines are coming in from the south, and Solar is being pulled apart. He doesn't lose too many drones. But bailing speed is not done. Good target firing on those medevacs, but ByuN, he does pick up. He does head over towards that natural. Where even more damage is being done. On the mine! Oh no! Oof. Mine is dealt with, but god, like, the economy here is just in shambles for Solar. He has to go back to mining in all of his bases. So much mining time. And we're not done. ByuN is waddling in a mine. He's got another drop into the main base. Drones will be going down. Only 1 here at the 3rd. Really lucky, actually. Don't think that was intentional. But here comes the main push, and because of all the economic damage, because of how much mining time was lost, ByuN is up in supply. He's up 20 supply, and that is never a good thing in this matchup. Solar is still licking his wounds, still does not have an army. Queens are going down, and this may just be it. Mines are not going to get baited out. Decent connections with those bailings, but ByuN, he's going to be consolidating his forces. Once again, unborrowing that mine, he's going to be keeping this push going. What I wanted to say earlier with the fast hydrogen, I'm pretty sure Solar wanted to go into fast lurkers, and that would be a good way to slow down his opponents. Hydras, they have arrived. Solar's trying to hold up. We get another drop into the main. 4 more drones go down. ByuN extending his lead. He was up 20-30 supply earlier. Now it's 40. But again, I'm pretty sure Solar's win condition here, or his goal, is to get into lurkers, and lurkers will give him a lot of time. But he's not going to be allowed to get into a hive. Infestation bits on the way for hive tech. ByuN is already pulling his opponent apart, and here we go. Drones are finally going down. GG gets called, and ByuN will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. ByuN just hyper aggressive, even with his first push. I mean, even before that, with his first 5 Reapers, he was trading so well, forcing out so many lings, and yeah, the fights were just too inefficient here from Solar. He was just falling further and further behind, and he just barely couldn't keep up with the drop play of ByuN. He was pulled apart. GG. ByuN does take the series and advances on to the grand finals to face off against the European Protoss player, MaxPax. Let's go. Let us go. My condolences to Solar. Of course, the last Zerg player does fall, but he did well for himself. You know, I'm very proud of Solar for taking down Cure in a 2-1 fashion. Very impressive. And even going to the ace match here against ByuN as well was impressive as well, but was pulled apart in the end, and ByuN just proved to be a little bit too much to handle. And yeah, we have 1 series remaining tonight. 1 best of 5 to end it all. Here we go. And I'm going to need a moment to set that up.